Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Yakai. I know it's been a while since my last update of the YouTube channel. Sorry about that. I was busy with the academic works in the start of the new semester. But anyway, we are back and we were recently successfully able to hit the 3000 ELOs with this team shown on the screen. With Chargebug in the lead and Shadow Malamar as a safe swap, and at last with Azu in the back. With Azu, we are running a kind of unique moveset. Instead of the normal Ice Beam playground moveset, we are running Ice Beam Hydro Pump, aiming to hit those steel type like Bastodon and Corviknight. Without further ado, let's hop into the matches and see how this team works. In the first match, it's Chargebug into Altaria. It's not a good lead as Altaria can hit for super effective damage with Flamethrower, so we just swap into our Shadow Malamar swap. Opponents answer with a Empoleon. This is not a good response when they are dying energy against Shadow Malamar at all. So with that, we can just throw our next power play before then second Hydro after shooting once, and they just let it go. And this is how we got switch. This is looking very good for us as we have Azu in the back to wall all of this Autoria's energy. And after landing on foul play, opponents throws a sky attack before we get off our next foul play. And in comes Azu, and in the back is Shadow, Shan, and Lore. Luckily, I didn't panic swap into my Chatterbug, otherwise the Incineroar will be melting our Chatterbug. And we were successfully able to take the win as Azu just call breaks their backline. GG's. Hopping into the next match is Chatterbug against Flores. This is a kind of neutral lead, but floor with more shield are used, Flores should have the edge to win this matchup. But I guess that's just what we want with Shadow Malamar in the back. Here, I don't want to CMP with the next String Water, so I throw one extra instead of just throwing back-to-back discharge. But opponents smartly throws is on good timing, avoiding an extra discharge sneak. And after throwing this, I'm sniping with Malamar Size Wave. Opponents react in time, but the Flores is already too low. It's just in one bubble range after the sideways snipe there. Opponent respond with Chatterbug, but this is not a good response to Shadow Malamase's switch at all when they are down NG. After landing one foul play, we can just do what we did. 2 shield and sidewave all the way down. And all that's left in the back is their last one, Gastrodon. And what's Gastrodon going to do against this Malamar loaded on NG? They immediately going from 2 shield to 0. And then it's not with Flores with a Fairy, but that doesn't matter. We just have Azu in the back, and Gastrodon is in Hydro range after getting chipped by those Sidewave on Malamar. That's a GG's. Hopping into the next match, it's Chargebug against Corsola. This is not a good matchup at all. We are pivot into our Malamar immediately. But unfortunately, we are getting hard countered by a Poison Wigglytuff. But despite this is a bad matchup, Marma can still force a shield if Wigglytuff decided to go for a full farm down just like what they did here. They shielded the first superpower and our next superpower get them into the red, and now we are going to go in with our Chatterbug to absorb this energy and try to get energy to try to beat that Corsola in the back. Opponent clearly has other idea and decided to swap back into the Corsola. This is looking quite tricky for us. As we don't quite have a hard response to Corsola. But anyway, we can just throw the Hydro Pump here. This will do some good damage, but we will not get farmed down before Corsola gets to another move. Opponent tries to catch an Ice Beam with their Wigglytuff, but we see that coming and try and able to farm it all the way down. And clearly they are kind of weak to Azu in the back. That's why they are coming with Corsola. And now we hold on our energy and successfully farming all the way down with bubbles. And all that's left is their shadow annihilate in the back. And now with all this energy, we can just throw back to back ice beam after just one bubbles. And then if they no shield, we can just go for the full switch down. If they shield, I mean, we also have a discharge bang on Chargerbug. So anyway, that's a GG's. With with good energy management, we were able to beat a kind of core breaker like Corsola. Next match against another Autoria, again we are pivoting into our Shadow Melmar. Opponent farms up and trying to catch a foul play on the carving. I mean, that's what we're going to throw at first because we don't want to lower our defense and to let a poison carving into farm us down more easily, right? After shooting the first rock slide, we can and spam foul play because Murmur has a huge pacing advantage. We're able to get to four moves before carving gets to their second rock slide. And the its superpower will get their last shield, and now we can come in with Chargerbug. Despite this is not a good matchup, but it's not like Chargerbug is good against Autoria anyway, so we are just going to sack it. And after farming to a discharge, we're sniping with a bubble to get advantage on energy. And all that's left in the back is Covernite. And this is why Hydro Pump comes to handy. Normally Covernite with full health can survive 2 Ice Beam, but not Hydro Pump plus Ice Beam. These air cutters just take over without the boost, so we are going to no shield this. And then after this, their switch clocks should be up, and they know I have potential to go for a snipe with their charger bug. So expecting that coming, I'm not going to tap my switch immediately here. Instead, I'm going to throw one more bubble here and then swap into my charger. Like this, they have less time to react. So we are successfully going to get a snipe here. And after that, we can still get to another discharge with our remaining health. Because we are still just one volt switch away. And we still have an ice beam banked in the back. So that's a GG's. Next match is Chargerbug into Alola Melrack. This is a horrible list, so we are going to pivot into our Shadow Malamar once again. And this foul play, they decided no shield is doing a tons of damage to Melrack. Opponent throws a Bone Club and then swap into their Shadow Fortress. Shadow Fortress, despite resisting the side wave, they're still chunking as Malamar is just insane. And here I swap back into Chargerbug. But unfortunately, due to like I throwing one more sideways before swapping, so my switch costs one turn there. So this forced me that I cannot get the volt switch sneak that I want, and this is going to cost seriously, like you see in here. We can't get to the discharge before their next rock tomb. And just like that, they are able to pivot in time into their bastion to waste all of this energy stored on our Chatterbug. Normally this charge is tickling. After 2 debuff, they are like healing the bastion. Anyway, we are going to come in with Azu now. Luckily, we still have Hydro Pump to hit this Warface for super effective damage. But with that said, Bastion is still pretty bulky and it's not like Azumarill is that offensive, so this will still not get a knockout here. And after that, opponent brings back in Fortress. We can throw the Ice Beam here, try to get in the last shield, and then snipe with a foul play here. But I think this game is just over because their Alola Mera can just get to a move after farming down our Malamar. And that's a GG's. Maybe Yeah, maybe with if swapping one turn sooner, or throwing the discharge before their next rock tomb, and saving the shield for our Azu in the back, we could have some chance in that game. But anyway, GG's to the opponents. Hopping into the next match, Chargeback into Bastion once again. Again, we are pivoting back into our Magma. And once again, opponent respond Magma save slot with their Chargeback. This is not a good response to Shadow Malamar at all when shields are up. Again, we can just two shield go through this, throwing this foul play after this, and I undershot it because I know this will not get a KO, so why don't just get more from by undercharging? We are able to get the side down, and no, I mean, opponents here tries to catch another foul play, but we see that coming and save all the energy on our Malamar, and now coming with our Azu. This is where Hydro Pump comes to handy because this makes the Azu Bastion matchup way more better. With that said, Bastion still get us pretty low here. And opponents here successfully getting catch on to their low half charge bug. So well played here. And now we're probably going to see the last one, which is superior here. And with getting switch with our Shadow Malamar say swap, we're in a pretty good spot here. We have we are able to align charge bug to the superior now. Opponent is actually running Leaf Tornado and seems like they get a debuff. So this Excisor hit a lot, not effective. Yeah, the damage is pretty horrible there. With that said, we are still able to knock out the Bastion with foul play here, and the Superior is too low to do anything, and they just concede the match. GG's. Next match is Chargeback into Regidrago. Again, we are going to pivot into our Shadow Malamar as our Wolf Switch is resisted. That is not a good matchup. Opponent probably going to throw a Vice Grip and deep out. Yep, exactly. They pivot back into their Coffin Knight. With that said, we can still probably get a shield here, as two foul play will nearly get the knockout here. And then our switch clock is back up again, so we're swapping into our Shadowbug to absorb this energy on Corviknight. After throwing a payback, opponent comes back in with Regidrago once again. And they are going to need to throw the right script here, otherwise we'll get to another Excisor. But after this, we can just get a full bubble down with Regidrago on the Regidrago here with our Azu. Although Vice Script can hit for neutral, but like Azu is Azu, man. This just doesn't look like a hidden neutral but resisted. Opponent comes in with Shadow Caesar here, and surely they do not expect this. Hydro Pump, boom! One shotting the Caesar, and opponents have nothing to do and just concede the match. GG's. The Hydro Pump damage is so satisfying, man. And hopping into the last match of the day, I think, against another dragon, the Widest. This matchup is much more better than Red Draco because our Xyz are hitting for super effective damage in this matchup, though this will not get the KO still. And we expect that I am going to catch the Xyzer, so throwing the discharge here as discharge will kill anyway. Turns out they really try to catch onto their fortress, and after that discharge hit, we can go for foul play here, outpacing before they get to the rock tomb. And after shooting this rock tomb here, I think we can just go for full side down. Exactly. Miramar against living with a tons of energy here. And after seeing the wireless coming back in, we're just going to foul play to take the knockout. And all that's left in the back is Empoleon. And this should be a really clean game. Opponents have to expect, no, respect the superpower when we throw our move on our Malamar, and after them shielding twice here, we can just go into our Azu. And despite all of our moves is resisted, but because the low stack product on Empoleon, Hydro Pump will still hit for a tons of damage. And with the side wave damage we got earlier, this should be nearly Hydro Pump range. And after hitting two Drill Peck here from the Hydro, and opponents knew they are just getting bubble down afterwards and consistent match GG's. And that's all for today, Ace Battles. I hope you, if you're not finding a good climbing team still, if there's still a few days to go for this cycle, feel free to try this team. I do think Shadow Malamar or Say Switch is so strong right now in the current meta. Even against its worst matchup like Wigglytuff, it can still get a shield advantage if the opponent is going for the full farm down. So this also set up for the Hydro Azu who's sweeping in the back when shields are down. So yeah, I do think this is a really good team to try. Feel free to try it if you are interested. And all that is like the end of today's video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.